What is up, everyone? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Christmas is upon us. I'm not even remotely close to being ready for it. But I work well under pressure. So I hope everyone has had an amazing weekend because Lord knows that last night we all could have used some rest. So I'm kind of glad that Ern didn't do his live because I needed to sleep. It has been super crazy. So we're going to talk all about that. And at the same time, we are going to learn about salad and how it is just one of the amazing things that life has to offer. And how eating salad is just super good for you. And we're going to talk about that because according to Val and me, I'm just a big, fat, super big know-it-all. I know all the things. I don't know all the things, but I try to learn as many things as I possibly can. Because that's just always a good thing. So, hello, Manchester Vicky, Ran 5150, Renee MS, Sarah, hello. All the little tiglets sitting out in the bushes. I hope you get a thorn in your hiney. You guys can come out and chat if you want to. Nobody's going to bite your head off. We're laid back and low budget over here. So I just watched Ghost Live a little while ago. That was interesting. I always have fun hanging out over there. Hello, my sister's voice and Nana. You guys hear me pacing around my kitchen? That's my thing. Like if I'm on the phone, which I really don't like talking on the phone, but if I am, I usually walk around in circles in my kitchen. I walk around my island. I get those steps in every day, though. Hey, Ghost. All right. So, where do I even begin? Should we lead with the salad thing or should we end with that? I mean, there's so many good things to choose from. And people that I'm going to mention. No problem, Sarah. Thank you. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just get the salad part out of the way because we can piggyback off of that to some of the other health related things that we're going to talk about. So, hey, Queen Ashley, Midnight Baker, thank you for being here. So, there was some talk of salad last week. I feel so dumb even talking about this. ATIL made the friendly suggestion that, maybe Nicolina needs to eat more of that salad that everyone's talking about. Maybe she should eat some of the salad that everyone's talking about because it's just uber healthy for all of us, right? And salad is a very beneficial thing that we are lucky enough to have because there's so many things salad can do for you. It's good for your heart health and your immune system. It lowers your cholesterol and it can help with your calorie intake. Like if you don't need to take a bunch of or eat a bunch of calories, you can have salad. It provides iron, potassium, magnesium. It lowers your chance for heart disease or stroke. It is a good source of fiber. It helps your muscle support. Yes, it clears your colon. Funny, you should mention colons because we're going to talk about that too. It it creates healthy fats in the body because your body does need some fats, right? Like it takes all kinds of stuff to make the amazing body run. It's good for your eyes. It helps with sleeping. You know, if you're eating good, you're feeling good, you're resting good, helps with that. There's just so many things that salad is good for. I don't recommend like drowning it in ranch or like getting a little carried away with croutons and things like that. But if you're just going to eat like a bowl of salad, just have it plain. You don't have to gussy it up or make anything special about it. I mean, you can throw like raisins or sunflower seeds. You can put anything in a salad. Until Miss will always be a tiger. Bless your pea picking heart. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but if you're going to eat the kind of salad that everyone else was talking about, I wouldn't suggest that you come on and tell everyone. That's your business. We don't want to know. But I want you to look into other ways to eat a salad. Who knew that there was more than one way? Yes, you can put corn in a salad. Some people have corn in their salad, whether they want to or not sometimes. It's just, that is one of life's big mysteries, right? Where did the corn come from? One would think that by your age you would possibly have heard whisperings about that type of salad. So, yeah, I just wanted to clear that up for you. I hope that everyone ate lots of salad over the weekend because it will improve your life and longevity in the long run. Bacon bits, yes, put your egg in there, put your bacon bits. You're going to get some extra protein. I like mine with cheese and a ton of dressing too. I don't do onions or anything like that. Like, I don't really like the texture of crunchy onions or like green pepper and stuff like that. Spell out tossed salad to ensure clarification. Oh, you're making taco salads? I am making a Mississippi roast in the crock pot. It's been cooking all day. So, yeah, that was funny. ATIL is funny. You made me giggle when you started talking about salads because you were just completely at the wrong end of the spectrum. So you asked around, talked to Officer Brandon, ask him if he's ever eaten a salad with anyone from work. Like if some of the officers go out on a salad date. Just ask him. If he says yes, then I might rethink a few things in life. Unless you're down with that. Unless you're cool with him taking other people out to eat salad and not you. Maybe you're down with that. Maybe y'all could all go have salad together. So, yeah. Hey, Trixie. Hey, Princess Ice. Mrs. Fletcher. Nana, I don't know if I said hello to you, but hello. Hello, Fugitive Recovery. You guys, can someone drop Fugitive's link in my chat? And if you aren't already subbed up to her, run along over there real quick. You don't even really have to leave the live. It'll still be playing in the background, and just hit subscribe. She was at 90 something, and over the weekend we got her to 136, but make sure you're subbed. Tell your friends, have them sub, make a community post, whatever you got to do. Yes, everyone could get together and go to a salad bar. That would be a sight to see. But she was really on her high horse last week, wasn't she? Oh, holy hell. It was exhausting. But the good news is when she gets herself all in a little tizzy like this, we get an amazing documentary. We're going to have documentaries flying all over the place. There's like a whole series coming out that her and her team have been working on, where all these private chats take place and all these subs and panel guests that none of us are allowed to know anything about. Oh, you're welcome, Fugitive. This is just kind of like a dual purpose. We're going to build your channel, and it's also like an in your face to Mama T. Mama T, pay them back the money. I had one of Mama T's, what does she call them? Supporters. Like, they're always so rude in comment sections. They'll be talking about something and I just go in and like make a comment correcting it or whatever. But I do it in my special way. Well, they're just always so pissy with me. And one of them told me, I can't remember which one. Is the one that's like always on my ass about stuff though. But one of them told me that if Fugitive didn't put a specific note on the Cash App, like where you can put like the reason you're sending it, that because no one put a note in there that said loan, then it's up for interpretation. And technically, yeah, I get that. You like when I do stuff like that, I always try to put a reason for my own records. But not everybody does that, nor should everybody be required to do that in the court of public opinion, right? Not everyone thinks about doing that. Plus, if you've had this like relationship with someone and you have already loaned money, I mean, let's be honest, Mama T knew deep down in her gut that that money was being loaned to her. And even if she's just that dense and doesn't get it, she should want to do the right thing, right? This is her friend. This is someone who at the time cared about her enough to make a verbal agreement and loan her money, but also gave her money when Mama T didn't necessarily come right out and ask for it. But she knew what she was doing. So, person who made that comment, I don't even remember who you are, but it goes out to all of you. You guys really have to learn to start thinking things through. Okay. And by all means, y'all can all be friends and cozy together. I'm not trying to break up friendships, but if you're going to go and start attacking other people, you better make damn sure that you're on the right end of things. Mama T is a grown ass woman. This is not the first time that she has, skimmed a little extra off the top during every one of her life crisis events. And not only was she given hundreds and hundreds of dollars over a course of time from numerous people, but it didn't even humble her enough for her to be able to conduct herself on YouTube without being a complete asshole to everyone and jumping into the middle of crap. And it's just ridiculous, especially when you're sitting over there on a channel that claims to be for the victims. You're for yourselves and you're for Ernie. Although I don't know how many tigers are actually hanging out with Mama T these days, there seems to be a lot of friction between the tiger and eagle populations. I feel like something's going on. I don't know that to be true. So that's just my opinion. You did try helping them as much as you could. And I don't even know the whole story. But in reality, based on Mama T's history, all I really need to know is that someone gave her large amounts of money. And now she's claiming she's not responsible for that. Oh, I never asked for it. Well, yeah, you kind of did every single day in a roundabout way. But see, for me to even be able to talk about stuff like this, right? Because people like Rosebud, Sweetest Candy, Embassy Sweets, Jen, all those people, the main ones, like, they get all pissy with me. All of them. It doesn't matter what I say, whether I'm telling the truth or not, or whether or not I'm just like adding to the information that they think they know. Because if they're missing a piece of it, then that could change the whole makeup of the situation. Yes, Trixie, it was after. So yeah. She still hasn't paid back all the money to the people with the car situation. And I know, like, well, I don't know, but I've heard, like some people have told her, don't worry about it. But there again, if that were me, would I be okay with that? Probably not. I would make an attempt to pay them some money back. And Mama T was like, chasing justice. You don't know what you're talking about, girl. I paid money back. No, you paid two $50 payments. And it's been months. And you're working, according to you, you're working all the time now. That's why you haven't been going live. They might be a tad low on gray matter. Like, and it's kind of like grading a third grader's paper and having to mark it wrong for very obvious mistakes they made. Like, a lot of times I'm baffled and I like sit back and I think, God, what do these people see on the TV screen when they look at it? Because I don't think it's the same as what myself and a lot of others are seeing. It's quite sad, but also very interesting to try to like get to the bottom of. So yeah, I'm not a monetized channel. Cash apps are always appreciated. Any cash apps received through the end of the month will be going to help a friend of one of my dear friends. Lily has a friend who is a single father, and just anything and everything that could be going wrong in his life is hitting all at once. Christmas is coming. Yeah, I'm not an independently wealthy person. I wish that I could just swoop in and save the day, but I just can't. We're a one income family and we're on the struggle bus a lot too. But one thing I can do is pray. I can pray that God will send the right people into their lives that can provide help. I don't have a cash app for this person. If you choose to donate, you can send it directly to me. And then as soon as I transfer it over to the person or to the GoFundMe or whatever, I will make sure I post a receipt. The last time I got donations, I got two donations for the guy. And by the end of the night, I sent everything over and posted the receipt. So I will be completely transparent. But anything and everything would be appreciated. Okay. I don't really want to talk a lot about Mama T. Because every time I do, they're like, you're obsessed. Girl, please. Not obsessed in the least. I totally understand, Nicolina. If you could just like send some well wishes or whatever their way, that is appreciated too. So yeah, we talked about ATIL. Oh, ATIL. Have you figured out your bank fraud situation yet? You came on here and made some pretty slanderous claims accusing people of hacking your bank account. Talked about everybody's going to prison and all these craters are screwed because everyone took your monies. that I'm sure, which it's weird that you got an email on a Sunday morning, because I know my bank, if there's anything suspicious, they send you a text message. And not only do they send you a text message immediately, but they lock your card until you contact them and let them know if it's an approved transaction or not. There's also an 800 number that you can call anytime, day or night, to find out what's going on. So yeah, I thought most banks did offer services like that, especially 24-hour fraud support, because, it's your money. And if something's going on, you want it taken care of as soon as possible. So yeah, but you got an email on Sunday morning. That's usually the way it happens with you. You hop on and you just start raging about something. And it's always, I was alerted this morning. I got text messages this morning. I got emails this morning telling me that, girl, are you not supposed to be at work when you're coming on live at 10 o'clock every morning? You just got a fancy new promotion, a big fat Christmas bonus, and a standing ovation, and you haven't gone to work all week. So maybe I need a new abacus or something, but the math ain't mathin'. Plus, if you think about it, way back when, you told everyone that you didn't need to work. Your husband was a good provider, and what you did was volunteer part-time throughout the week and work with people with mental issues. That's what you said, girlfriend. So you mean to tell me that in less than a year's time, you have given up the volunteering, something that you said was oh so near and dear to your heart, and then went and got a job? Not only that, but you outdid the record for the fastest promotion. You probably didn't even get out of your probationary period, and you were so good that they promoted you. And because they were just so proud of you, yay! Any gypsies clapping thing. They all sit up and clap for you. Well, go team. What kind of work do you do? You don't have to get specific. Just give us a general idea. Every day you're supposed to be celebrating with your family. It's just the greatest thing ever. You reached your goal. Hey, if by some slim chance all of that amazingness did happen, then congratulations. I'm proud of you. But I'm going to need you to hurry up with those documentaries. And if you haven't already, to apologize to Nicolina, I'm going to need you to do that too. Because that is just the right thing to do. It's Christmas time. Okay? You're supposed to feel all warm and fuzzy inside and wanting to do the right thing. It's a special time of year where you look at life and you think, man, sometimes my life can kind of suck. But for the most part, I'm grateful that I wake up and take a breath every day. You're supposed to be trying to right the wrongs, wanting to be a better person moving into the new year. And I know everyone's all sitting in the bushes saying, oh my gosh, Chasing's defending Nicolina. You know how I know you're saying that? Because y'all are putting that shit in my comments too. So what? It doesn't matter if it's Nick. It doesn't matter if it's Peachy, if it's me, if it's Kemper. It doesn't matter if it's any of us. It's still the right damn thing to do. When you accuse someone of something and then you snap out of it and realize, hey, that shit never happened. Why on earth did I just go on the internet and tell everyone it did? Or B, you realize, hey, I probably shouldn't have lied about that person like that. I did it publicly, so let me go apologize publicly and try to backpedal my way out of this situation. No, you didn't do it. Thought never crossed your mind. In fact, you just come on ranting about something else that doesn't have anything to do with you, some made up situation or something that you just inserted yourself into and want to give your opinion because I have a right to come on here and give my opinion. We get it. But there again, don't bite my head off if I'm given the information that just might make your opinion make a little more sense. When you do something wrong to someone, you apologize. You recognize that wrong. You say you're sorry and you try not to do it again. That's typically how it works. That is how us as parents have probably taught all of our children. But no, you guys just want to whine about it like you are some superior species. And it's always someone licking someone's balls. Nobody that I know of is walking around with their tongue attached to someone's nads. But then when you turn it around and say, oh, well, all of you guys are just doing the same thing with Ernie, well, then it just gets ridiculous. And then after we have the Mama T's and the ATILs, we have the, if you want to guess, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Gypsy. We have people like her, who I used to think was completely normal. The only time, like back in the day in Discord, that there was ever a moment where I was like, I don't really know how to take this chick, was she always references Liz Gaspari. She like always tries to throw that in there, and along with BDAC and Holly Weird, she just has these ideas that run through her head like a freight train that a lot of us probably don't have, right? And I she was talking something about Liz Gaspari's like family history. And so I was like, oh, well, I didn't know about any of that. And she's like, go watch this, go read this. But I felt like, and it's hard to interpret emotions through like text and comments and stuff. Hey, Penny. Hey, Elle Kennedy and everyone else who snuck in. But I took it like she was kind of being a little bit of an asshole towards me. Honestly, I felt like she's being very pushy, but I just rolled with it, and I checked this stuff out. But that was back when Liz was still coming around a little bit. Now, keep in mind, she didn't like run for the hills because she's involved in some shady crap on YouTube. Like, y'all are going too far with a lot of this stuff. Whew. But she has like a business she runs, and from what I know, she was like in all these kind of like health things, all these contests and shows and all that stuff that they do. So that would make perfect sense. Like if I had to look at the scales and see my real life and all of its responsibilities, and on the other side was YouTube crap, I would probably choose my life. Like if I had to pick one or the other. And let's face it, being on YouTube can ruin all of the stuff that one might have going for them. I know that, Queen, I was just about to say that. Queen Ashley's really good friends with her. I have never gotten the impression that Liz Gaspari was involved in any kind of RICO or anything else on YouTube. I don't. Enlighten me. If you're going to say it, Gypsy, then really dig deep and like explain why you think that. Because it goes back to giving information or correcting information. Anything you tell me, I'm going to go look for myself and, cross-reference. But it gives me a direction. If you're seeing something that none of us are seeing, explain why. Because you're sitting up there on your pedestal talking about, if you're going to be here, create content, be an artist. Well, part of creating good content is if you're going to make a claim or try to make a point, then you elaborate on that. It's not about how many music videos you can rework and play during one live stream. It's not about, all your little intros that you have to play in your beach song. I find it funny that you have this whole video dedicated to a beach atmosphere, but that's one of the things you bitched about when Sarah would co-host. The sounds of the ocean. Well, let me just tell God to keep it down for a minute. Are you kidding me? And there again, it has nothing to do with me defending just Sarah. Anybody in that situation. Because from what we all saw, Sarah was good to you. Yeah, she might have been running late a few times, but she showed up for you. Your friend showed up. And guess what? Nobody even had to write that into the script. She did it because you were her friend and she cared. Now, I'm not even going to pretend to know all the particulars and the details that went into y'all's friendship. One, it's none of my business. And two, that would be a lot to try to catch up on. But you turned so nasty towards her, towards a lot of people. I can't even make a comment over there, and I never had an issue with you one-on-one. Just because in my mind I thought you were a little weird doesn't mean we had issues. I still gave you a shot like I do everyone. But you're going to tell me the other day when I commented something in your chat completely neutral and informative, and you're going to tell me I don't give a fuck what she has to say. She won't even cam up. I don't give a fuck. Are you kidding me? I tell you what, Gypsy, one of these days, very soon, could be tomorrow, could be later today, I'm going to cam up, bitch, just for you. Me and Peanut. He's going to be my special little guest. So you better be watching, nasty old hag. It's not your guys' outer appearance that makes y'all so ugly most of the time. It's just your attitudes. Like, you quit being friends with someone and all of a sudden you think you're walking around with buns of steel and no one can take you down or hurt you. Oh, look what they did to me. Look what they did to Mama T. They've been so mean to Ernie. Do you not pay attention to anything Ernie says? Do all of you have earplugs in and you're just trying to read his lips? What is going on? Now, Mini-Me is going to be home in about an hour, so there's no way in Hades that I can sit here and talk about everything that we just saw Ernie do this last couple of days. But we're going to dig into some of it. And I have notes. I did not write in glitter pens. I used my Papermate Ink Joy Gel 0.7. I love those pens. If anyone ever wants to send me a DoorDash, send me those Ink Joy pens. I love you long time. Yes, Holly Dolly. She was rude to Sarah. She was so like passive aggressive and just ugh. Like I don't jive well with personalities like that. I'm genuinely pretty laid back, and I have like an extremely high tolerance of BS until I get to my boiling point. But I think that's why I've been being more vocal lately and kind of jabbing back. I don't know, because I'm getting to the point where I'm like getting pretty fed up. It just gets ridiculous. In fact, there was a situation. I had made that post, the "To whom it may concern" post, and said something like Jimbo's not available to play in any reindeer games. He's being a father and he's with his son. Basically, he can't come to Hooters. He's busy. And I had someone who had always been cool with me. You know, they just kind of started coming around, and they kind of started coming around like at the beginning of when Mama T really pissed me off. Um, and they were always supportive, you know, and like made nice comments, and you know, it was just a friendly exchange. And they respected the fact that Mama T wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. Um, Actually, it has nothing to do with her as a person. It has to do with her behaviors and her characteristics. You know, she needs to change her ways, and then who knows. But they understood that, they respected that. You know, they let me know that they see people for who they are and they're not biased like that. Well, and I have no hard feelings towards this person. Some people don't like him, and I've always been like, hey, that's y'all's bag of chips, I'm cool. um but I guess that post that I made about Jimbo being busy was, you know, their hard line, their boundary, because, you know, we kind of like, I guess, parted ways. And we weren't super close, you know, it was just someone that would come in my chat sometimes or comment under stuff. No biggie. And I let him know there's no hard feelings, that sometimes people just can't agree to disagree. It's fine. But they were upset that I defended Jimbo. And I replied, because I always try to reply to everything. I'm not always nice when I do, but I try to be. But I was nice in this situation. And I let him know, you know, look, I really don't have a reason to dislike Jimbo. A lot of people don't care for him because of what happened 30 years ago. And so everything he does now is going to make them mad and give them just cause in their mind to dislike him more. I've explained why I'm not going to hold that against him. So if you want to know why, you're going to have to put in the effort. It's a couple of videos back. Yeah, it's there somewhere. And secondly, if I'm going to dislike him because of things he's done while on YouTube, like calling people a fat whore or calling a woman a bitch or saying suck it, or, you know, wanting to meet up with people, because this was a point of contention that this person brought up in the comment. They wanted to know where I was when Jimbo was telling Brad Inlow to meet up, knowing that Brad wasn't going to show. Well, first of all, I heard about that situation. I just heard that it was done. I didn't know anything about that Brad being busy. I don't know. I wasn't there to watch it. I don't watch everything. I watch a lot of stuff on replay. If I'm watching something in real time, you'll know that I'm watching it because I'm going to be chatting. So, this stupid post that I made, and I don't regret making it because it also had two purposes. The first purpose was like, hey, Jimbo can't come to Hooters, because I just kept hearing everyone say it. Ernie kept saying it over and over. People in chat were saying, where are you, Jimbo? Where are you? And secondly, I'm not going to pass up any opportunity to use a phrase like reindeer games and say things like, to whom it may concern. Because if you know anything about my sense of humor, you can probably expect something like that from me if a worthy situation arises. Yes, Sarah, he does have what's known as green peen disease. Ladies, you're going to want to avoid that at all costs. At all costs. Amanda went live. See, that's what she does. And the last few times I've gone live, she's done that. And see, but I don't care. Like, I don't care. Yes, we're eating lots and lots of salad, Jimbo. I don't care that she went live because I'm not one that's like I would talk to you with the 80 that I have right now, or if I had 5 of you. It's just not a big thing for me. But so this post that I made, to whom it may concern, ruffled feathers, which is unfortunate because the person literally told me, that they see things for what it is. They're not like biased in any way. Well, you're not biased unless you realize or you assume that I'm saying something, all in defense of someone you like. Did the post defend Jimbo? If it did, then no skin off my back. I'm glad I could do it. But like I said, I seized the opportunity to use the term reindeer games and to let everyone know that there wasn't a chance in hell that Jimbo was going to show up at Hooters because he was watching his son play, which will always be more important to people who take their parenting seriously. But this was just one other situation, though, where we've heard Ernie, meet up, meet up. So if I'm going to dislike Jimbo for doing things like that, then I have to dislike everyone. It's ridiculous, but I understand why people do it. They get elevated, they get heated. You people, and we're all guilty of it. I've probably done it too. We all say things that can really piss someone off. Like, we don't know what kind of mood they're in when we might say certain things or snap at them about something or, dunk on them. You never. That people that I choose to let in my circle, in my little world here, I may not agree with all of the things they do or say. I might not share all the same opinions, but I respect them as a person, as an individual. And if there's something that is just completely against everything I believe in, stand for, or it's just something I can't handle, then, I'll take a step back until that passes. So just hearing, you can say that situation that night is the straw that broke the camel's back as far as I'm concerned about constantly hearing, let's meet up, let's meet up. If y'all go meeting up and doing all this, someone's going to get hurt. I have a feeling that if Jimbo were to meet up with Ernie and they went to scrapping, that Ernie literally would be a ghost. He's frail, y'all. He's only 121 pounds with a terminal illness. And that's where we're going to go next, you guys. So buckle up. I'm going to get through my notes as best as I can, but it was just, I had to what made me really like dig into this one particular strain, that the one I'm going to talk about today, is the fact that I also made a community post and I attached the definition of hemophilia, just a general definition, because on a certain panel, Tiger Lori commented under my post and said, he never said that he couldn't bleed. So stupid. Bitch, I'm not stupid. I already knew what hemophilia was, but because I wanted to provide as much information for you knuckleheads, I looked into it, which is what all of you should do. Y'all are his friend, his support system. You're his little tiglets. You're supposed to be able to support him through this horrible, horrible experience in life and take care of him. Y'all are the ones funding the damn protein powder fund. But no, y'all don't want to know what's going on. You want to walk around with blinders on and just follow like good little foot soldiers, and anything and everything he says is true. Y'all know that man's a liar. If nothing else, is true that we've accused or said about Ernie, one thing is for certain, and there's no denying it: that man is a liar. And he can dress it up and make it all cutesy and say, I've always said I'm a liar for hire. Man, I don't care. You're still a shady mofo. You lie about everything. You lie about things you don't even need to lie about. You lie so much that it's just constant layering. Lies, 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 lies. There's a video in my short section. It's a little man doing a cheer called Why You Gotta Lie So Much. That's for you, Ernie. It was originally for Mama T, but it's now for you. So, last week, Ernie was sick again. According to him, on the 26th, I don't even know what day of the week that was. I meant to figure that out, but crap. Okay, so on the 26th, he said he was in the hospital. He was admitted into the hospital. And, he went live. But it was at that point he was going to have all these procedures done. He said that he was going to have surgeries. Well, then, the doctor came in and we heard that he was having a colonoscopy. And we were like, what the fuck? He's supposed to be dying, and now they're talking about colonoscopies. So we knew something was amiss at that point. Well, fast forward a little bit, and Nicolina called to check up on him. And then, boom, all of a sudden he's cured. He is going to be just fine. He bolts from the hospital. But he thinks it's cute and funny, like, oh, look at me. You're only hurting yourself, Ernie. You are only hurting yourself. So, yes, to all of us, that shit's funny. We're going to make jokes because you look like a damn fool. You're going to see in the long run, Ernie, that you aren't as spectacular and of celebrity status as you think you are. Your name is not a household name, my friend. So we don't hear from him really while he's out of the hospital. I think he may have done one short live. I don't know. But he was like bombing everyone with community posts. He is pissed. He is pissed that Nicolina found him. He is pissed that he was talking all this game and giving this big extravagant story. And then he had to explain why he was able to just run from the hospital. Run, Forrest. Ran straight to a bar, he said. And all of a sudden, those surgeries weren't necessary. Now he's telling us that the doctor didn't even know if he was going to need to have that colonoscopy. That he was on the mend. He said he got discharged. We all know, if we've all ever been admitted to a hospital, you know that getting discharged, they might come in and say, okay, we're going to get your discharge paperwork ready. And you don't see them again until like 2 or 3 p.m. to sign all that stuff. It can take a long time to be discharged. Then you got to wait for all your instructions and any prescriptions, follow up information. They have to remove IVs and all that good stuff. So, yeah. But then you went silent for a little bit, and then you all of a sudden, poof, pop back up. This time, it's even worse, right? And people were telling you when you ran from the hospital AMA, people were telling you that you shouldn't have done that. You needed to be resting. So he comes on and he starts getting all angry. You know, he starts out with the community post. Now, remember, I want you to remember that he had made a community post with like some poker chips on the table and cards and money. And he didn't say that he was at a casino or that he was playing poker anywhere. He didn't come right out and say that, because that's not how Ernie operates. He posts pictures like that because he thinks that he's doing something, and like his plan is to get everyone going. You know, he wants people to search that picture and all that. And I always do. I mean, if he's going to go through the trouble of posting it, I'm always going to do a reverse search. When I did, all it did was bring up a bunch of stock photos from various websites, you know, like backgrounds or clip art, anything like that related to gambling. So the picture could have come from anywhere, but one thing is for sure, because, you know, Ernie has this horrible disease. I'm not going to believe that in that just couple of days that he was out in between hospital stays, that he was out gambling somewhere. I'm just not buying it. So he's hitting us with all these community posts, and, you know, people don't just sit there and take it. None of us do. So the back and forth starts. And come to find out, he says he's still in the hospital, right? He's been admitted back to another hospital. Now, at first, he doesn't mention it, but later on in this live stream, I don't know if I want to. The live stream I'm referring to is the last live stream Easy did. And the reason I went to that one is because Lori was trying to argue the fact that Ernie never said he couldn't bleed. Well, Tiger Lore Eye, if you go to Easy's last stream and look at the 4-hour, let's see, I think it's the 4-hour, yeah, go to 4:01:39, 4-hour, 1 minute, 39 seconds. Easy flat out asks him what medical condition he has. And it is at 4:01:39 that Ernie tells him. This is what he says to him. Where did it go? He says that on December 4th, he was told by the doctor that he has an incurable disease. Okay? He tells us that the doctor tells him on December 4th that he has an incurable disease. Now, the first hospital stay, he said he went in on the 26th. And then over a span of about 2 days, he kind of bantered back and forth with everyone. Nicolina called the hospital and he bolted. So that would have been around the 28th. And I'm just guessing. I'm not looking at a calendar right now. So then he said he was out for a couple of days, and then he started not feeling good. Because remember, when he was at the bar after the first hospital stay, he said he's feeling great. The medicine had started kicking in, and he felt like $1 million. He was just going to, pick up some women at the bar, and he was going to go get down and dirty at the no-tell motel. So let's say from the 28th the 29th and the 30th, he was out and about, whooping it up. And then let's say on the 1st, he gets readmitted to a different hospital. Now, it wasn't just taken by ambulance or dropped off by friends. I'm not feeling good. It was a whole, like, production. He went to one hospital and they treated him horribly. He went to another hospital. It was going to be a 9.5 hour wait, but he was already 9.5 hours into not feeling good, so he wasn't going to wait anymore. He went to a third hospital, and the administrator took one peep at him and just knew this man is dying. We have got to get him in this hospital. The reason she was all for it is because he has this fancy New York insurance, and I meant to look that up too. He gave the name Health First Insurance out of New York. It is apparently bougie insurance, and a lot of celebrities use it. Now, he doesn't have to pay a monthly insurance premium because when he was in the hospital in New York for 28 days, 28 days, huh? There's a movie called 28 Days, and it's about time in rehab. But he said that after that hospital stay, he needed some insurance. And so MAGA and the doctor in New York got together and they signed him up for this insurance. It was paid for a year. But if anyone would like to donate, they can donate to paying his insurance on January 1st. So if anyone wants to help him with that. So, yeah. So this hospital admission was a little rocky, but because he had this good insurance and the administrator looked at him and thought, oh man, he's very sick, they admitted him and treated him like royalty because he had the good insurance. Are you kidding me? One, if December 1st falls on a Saturday or a Sunday, that administrator wasn't there hand plucking people out of the emergency room to be admitted. And two, no one gets admitted based on the good insurance. They might transfer you to a different type hospital. Like here, it's a training hospital, but it's a good one. That's where the uninsured go. But they got you in, and you had already, in that amount of time. So the doctor told him on the 4th, you have an incurable disease. Okay. Well, then you stumble back onto YouTube. You had already had 2 surgeries. Now, the first time you started talking about this, it was like the 9th, right? So that gives you about 5 days in between finding out that you only have a short amount of time to live. And you decide that the best use of your time would be spent on YouTube. Most people, when you're told that you only have months to live, you have an incurable disease. Now think about that. It is 2023. Not only does he have a disease that the CDC does not have a cure for or any idea of how to make a cure because, we're just, I guess in his mind, not that advanced medically. But he has this incurable disease. Don't know where he would have gotten it from. And not only that, it is so rare that not even the doctors could really tell him what it was. He said the doctors couldn't even give him, his doctor said, I wouldn't even want to give you a Google definition, sir. Couldn't even provide a Google definition because they are stumped on this disease, this incurable illness that Ernie has. Tiglets, are you keeping up? Because y'all need to pay attention. And then we're going to explain how all of these reasons that I'm pointing out, why it makes people act the way they do. So the doctors at this hospital where they take this good insurance are crap, right? He'll be lucky if he can get a Band-Aid on a straight knee. That's how lacking in medical knowledge these doctors are. That's true, Trish. Maybe he was at the vet's office. Maybe he had to go to the veterinarian because he's part wolf. That's always a possibility. Now, who remembers back in the day when Ernie used to just spontaneously start bleeding from the mouth? I want you to keep that vision locked away in your noggin because it's going to make sense in just a minute. So, Lori, at 4 hours, 1 minute, 39 seconds, Easy asked Ernie what his medical condition is. Ernie's answer is the doctors do not really know. It's called memophilia or hemophilia, something like that. It's a blood clotting disease that, I quote, whenever I get cut, I'm supposed to bleed. I've had my face rearranged. I've been cut over 1,500 times and I just couldn't bleed. I mean, I hardly ever bleed, end quote. So, Lori, I'll give you a free pass because you called me stupid this time and I'm obviously right. Next time I'm going to rub your face in it even harder. So be a good little tiger and don't shit where you're not supposed to. So now he's in the hospital. He's crying on December 4th because these doctors who just really don't know what's going on, they don't even have a name for anything. Ernie, how can they tell you that you have memophilia or hemophilia if they don't even know what you have? Did you just pluck this name from somewhere? How did you arrive? When you're processing this little shenanigan in your mind, how did you spin the wheel and land on hemophilia? Why did you choose that? Of all the icky things there are, you chose that. And I'm going to tell you why that was a bad choice. Because hemophilia does not cause you not to bleed, dummy. It causes you to bleed out. That means every time your mouth would just spontaneously start bleeding, we should have seen ambulances come and pick your ass up and take you to the hospital before you died of blood loss. So let's learn about hemophilia. I like learning new things. Hemophilia is a genetic condition. It's usually found at birth. You want to know the numbers? Of male carriers, 1 in 4 males are born with hemophilia type A and B. 1 in 4 is born without the gene. There is a type C. It's extremely rare. It is called hemophilia X factor or factor X deficiency. It was discovered in 1953 in people who had severe bleeding after tooth extractions. Now, keep in mind, knowing that hemophiliacs overbleed. I went to school with a girl who had it. They referred her as a free bleeder. I don't know if people still use that term. She couldn't do anything. She couldn't play sports. She couldn't do dance. She couldn't do cheer. She couldn't go on a lot of field trips, especially ones who were geared to being outside or at a park. She could do nothing. No PE class. None of that. Because she could not risk getting cut, scraped, or bumped hard enough to potentially cause something on the inside to bleed. You can even bleed in your bone marrow. Your skeleton can have issues because you have bleeding in your bones. So, Ernie, you mean to tell me that in just a few days' time, like 3 or 4 days, you had a very high risk, not 1, but 2 surgeries that would have been considered high risk because you have to think about how much you're going to bleed when they cut you open. Did you not think about this crap when you were concocting this big ass story? So, type A is the most common deficiency. It's when your factor 8 is low or missing, and it is referred to as classic hemophilia. Christmas disease is type B. Factor 9 is missing or deficient. The CDC estimates that 400 male babies are born every year with type A hemophilia, which is the most common. Now, when you consider how many babies are born every year, only 400 of those male babies are hemophiliacs. So you mean to tell me that this is thing that is a genetic condition, it's not something that you pick up from using a public water fountain or a public restroom. You're not going to get it, by opening a door to a restaurant. You're not going to get it if someone coughs on you. It is a genetic disorder. If parents go to a hospital and they have a baby, they will have already alerted their medical team that one or both of them, most likely the dad, because I did read it was more dominant in males than females, but they will have alerted their care team, hey, one of us is a hemophiliac. Because when that baby is born, they are going to do a blood draw specifically to test to see if that baby is a carrier. So you would not at 42, 43 years old, all of a sudden, you go to the hospital because you're losing all this weight and you're so sick and and you find out, oh, hey, I'm a hemophiliac. It doesn't work like that. There's no surgery you do to fix hemophilia. There's medications you take to lessen the symptoms. But you know what you don't take, Ernie? You don't take a puffer or a sniffer, whatever the hell you called it. What you demonstrated last night on that live when Mamito was on panel, you puffed on an inhaler. And you jackass, you can't take a half a puff. You're either going to puff or you're not. I have been using an inhaler for years because I actually have a lung condition. I have COPD. So I'm well acquainted with how inhalers work. Not once have I ever been able to master the half pump. It's just ridiculous. And you Tiglets not seeing the obvious is what makes us so aggravated and why we make fun of you guys. You can't all be horrible people. You're just dumb when it comes to common sense type stuff. So there's so many things that could go wrong with him being a hemophiliac. Not only do we have the mouth bleeding, how about when he jumped out of the Hummer? How about that? How about when he slipped on ice, got all banged up, and then tried to tell everyone that he got shot at or whatever he said happened to him? How about that? How about when Antifa beat him up? How about that? He wouldn't have survived. So, Ernie, wherever you got the word hemophilia from, you've put it out there, you've said it, but who knows with you, right? Because that's what you're known for. That's how we know you are the liar that you are, because you dance around everything and every conversation ends with you saying, well, you'll see, just wait and see. The best is yet to come. I told you, you just wait. Like, it never comes. The waiting period is never over. We still don't have lightning tiger supplements. The stupid Tiger Association thing never went anywhere. And you say it's because you got bitten by a snake. Why not just lie and say that you've been in the hospital all this time because of complications from your snake bite? That story was already like solidified. We all knew it was bullshit, but it was a solid story that But you didn't. You got all hopped up on adrenaline and your sniffer and God knows what else. And you started concocting and doing all this outrageous ass crap. Calling dispatchers and thinking, oh, yeah, I really got one over on them. I mean, let's take a trip down memory lane and talk about some of the things that Ernie has done. Oh, and this doctor that can't even give him the name of his terminal illness was kind enough to give Ernie his phone number, his personal phone number. I mean, for all I know, Ernie could mean that the doctor gave him a card. That seems more likely than a doctor going above and beyond and giving Ernie his personal digits. If that did happen, then that looks a little suspicious to me. But yeah, he said that this doctor's helping him gain weight. Whatever. So, and then he, throughout the course of talking to Easy, I'm going to try to start speeding it up. We might have to eat more salad again tomorrow if I don't get through everything. But as he's talking to Easy, and Easy's like flat out laughing at him, and then don't get me wrong, there's like tension there. That's not my favorite place to hang out over there, but it's where I found this conversation and the little nugget about what hemophilia does to him. So I listened to it. If y'all want to go watch it yourself, y'all know how to find this channel. Yay, shout out. So he tells Easy that he kind of makes his excuse before he's even called out on everything. He says, well, when I was in the hospital, I was on that morphine and it just, so he was already trying to paint the picture. So as we, expose little tidbits and call attention to little things, he's just going to blame it on the morphine. So, okay. So Midnight Baker knows about hemophilia. Yeah, I just started reading a little bit about it this afternoon because I wanted to have some information for you guys. So he's talking to him and he says that his surgery was just the other day. He had it at 4:30 to 5:15. He had a surgery. Okay, that's amazing. What, did you have a toenail removed in that amount of time? You mean to tell me they got you under anesthesia and just got right down to it and you were done with the surgery in 45 minutes? Maybe you had an ingrown hair removed. But not only that, you said, and then they gave me a colonoscopy. Now, I don't know if that's how that works. I wouldn't think that immediately following a surgery, which is supposed to be a very sterile area, that they're all of a sudden going to just whoop out all the stuff and do a colonoscopy right there in the operating room. I don't see that happening. So that doesn't make sense. You just add that to the list of shit that doesn't make sense. According to Chasing, because I'm the know-it-all, So then, Easy lets Ernie know that he has a feeling that this whole illness and hospital fiasco is happening because of the boycott. Well, that's just silly too. This is just Ernie. Easy. This is just how he does. It's a cycle. He got upset because one, Nicolina found him in the hospital, and then he got upset because he thought he was in a safe place, and Nicolina put it out into the universe that he may or may not be at his sister's house. You can tell by the way he reacted to her saying that. Like, if it weren't true, he had already said he had contact with his sister. He said that she brought him clothes in that god awful hat. And when he took that picture and he photoshopped his neck so skinny, that man, Ernie, you photoshopped your whole jaw off. Like, your neck and the way you did your face, it resembles like Beaker from whatever it was, Muppets. Like, you got your neck so skinny. So you tell him, that surgery was a success, but you're definitely dying. You don't have much to live. It's just, what's the point, right? I'm dying. But then, all in the same breath, you say that you just need weight gainers. You don't need anyone's money. And you got Mamita up there trying to find out what this sniffer's about, right? Because you had been making all these little jokes and implications that you were doing coke. You even told Easy, I did you notice I switched characters and I was no longer playing the cokehead? Like, you referenced it a lot, and you were all hopped up, and you were just really feeling yourself that night, and it was kind of tragic to watch. But I'm at the point now where someone had made a comment. I think it was giving payback, and this is kind of where I'm at. They said, this is why it's hard to be nice to him and many others. I care if people are sick, whether I like them or not, but liars make it simple to not care. And giving payback also let us know that at one point you said you were just on simple oxygen, Ernie. So Mamita's trying to talk to you about this sniffer, because the only thing that comes to mind would be like a nasal medication. Well, I know they have new medicines. I know there's a spray that just came out but I think it's more of like an inhaler, but it's like for depression and things like that. Well, because you kept saying it perked you up, Mommy just thinking, okay, it's a steroid inhaler. So that's fine. She asked you what color it is. She's like, is it red with orange? That's because there are steroid inhalers. There's a light blue one with a dark blue cap or a green cap. There's red with a white cap. There's orange with a red cap. I mean, there's all different kinds. There's disc kinds. There's just everything. But you couldn't tell anyone what it looked like or the name of the medication because you had black tape all over it. Do you realize how insane that sounds? I think that he was in the hospital with C. That's what I think. Because he's always said, I have trouble breathing and my fever, and now he's on an inhaler. There's no shame in someone knowing that you're taking an inhaler, Ernie, or what type it is. I'll tell you, I take albuterol. My albuterol inhaler comes in a blue canister. Nobody can take that information and do anything with it. So why don't you just be honest with people? The reason you can't, there's desmopressin, is that, would that make you all hyped up like he was? Because I would think if he took enough, like inhaled enough of it to get that hyped up, that he would be at a level where it could cause serious harm, especially since he just had 2 surgeries. So when you start taking all these little details, Tiglets, and really like looking at them, it should show you that you're full of shit, which should therefore show you that you have no reason whatsoever for any of y'all little skanks to be coming at anyone the way you do. If I dislike Ernie, it's because he's given me reason to. And he has been a total ass to me lately, and I don't do anything to him. If I correct him or I question him or I don't agree with him or I search up a picture and prove it's not him, does that hurt your feelings that bad, Ernie? He called me a stupid hoe the other day. I was like, what? In the 3 years that I've been here, I don't think I've ever had anyone call me a stupid hoe. At least not that I know of. And I think it's come to be proven that I'm actually not that stupid when you think about it. So valid me, if that makes me a know-it-all, then I guess I'm going to know it all. So he's not only talking about this sniffer and he has to take it. It wears off every 30 minutes. He's just got to keep huffing. So he said, all right, I'm going to do it right now. And he makes this little noise, and it sounded like an inhaler. But that was supposed to prove everything. Well, it still doesn't prove the fact that you had 2 surgeries or you're a hemophiliac, but I have a feeling that proof is never going to come. Ernie, you're pushing this outlaw thing too hard. You're acting like you're the most wanted criminal in the world. And believe you me, you are wanted. You do have a warrant, but you are not part of, a Capone descendant. So quit walking around like I'm an outlaw. And ROC is going to kick off in 2024. Ernie, you just said you're dying. You're dying was your words. You have an incurable disease and it's terminal. You're laid up in the hospital, can barely breathe, barely talk. You're like, just hang on a minute, guys. I'm trying. If anyone wants to send me anything, don't send me any money. Just send me some weight gainers. That's all I need. I want to thank you that the Tigers, they've all pulled together and they love me and they had some stuff sent to me. Well, then Mamita Zha tries to give you a phone number of an organization that you can call so people can save their money at Christmas and you can get all your supplements and your weight gaining crap for free. Because you have an incurable terminal illness. Of course they're going to give it to you. In fact, because I was a manager at CVS 185 years ago, I know that in some situation and some insurance companies will cover over-the-counter items for things like Boost and Carnation Instant Breakfast if your doctor writes a prescription for it and your insurance company pre-approves it. It was done for the elderly all the time because in this country, the elderly are expected to live on pennies and afford all of their medications. But that's a conversation for another day, if ever. Penny, I didn't see that, but it doesn't surprise me because Rosebud's always running her mouth about everything and getting most of it wrong. I'm not going to sit around here and be some thin-skinned little sissy lala that gets all up in my fee-fees. I'm going to dish it right back out because you have to have thick skin around here, especially when you have a creep like Ernie running around, calling all these agencies, accusing people of terrorizing him and terrorizing others. Ernie, look at all the shit you've done. There again, to the person that said, why are you defending Jimbo? Because if it's I take all of Jimbo's fuck shit and all of Ernie's fuck shit and I put that on a scale, Jimbo's still going to come out on top as the winner. Because Ernie does hurtful things, harmful things, things that puts people in danger. Not just other people, himself too. One day he's going to challenge someone to meet him at a park, and he's not going to blue skidoo out of that park fast enough. And that person's going to get there while he's still actually there, and he's going to get the crap stomped out of him. And that would just be a bad day. Why? Because he's a hemophiliac. So you all tell me, Tiglets, how any of this makes sense. The day I let Ernie come on my channel, I questioned him and I asked him things and I wanted the truth. And he didn't tell it. He danced around and gave me word salad every single time. And he told me, I'm going to send you all this stuff you need so you can see I'm telling the truth. Oh, ROC's been around 16 years. Well, if it's doing so freaking great and it has this stellar reputation that you say it has, then why is it just sitting stagnant? Why are you on here dealing with nonsense, social media crap, instead of out there saving the children that you have vowed to rescue? You made that promise, remember? But you're not that guy. People aren't even really scared of you anymore because it's just gotten so ridiculous. So when I hear people like Easy say, oh, I know it all, I've seen the videos. No, buddy, I'm sorry, but you don't know it all. You don't know the half of it. Yeah, you might have a bunch of videos and you can kind of string the story up. But there again, when you have missing details, the story just isn't the same. There have been women afraid of Ernie because he probably got the advice from Honest Rage and decided he needed to card people and get their personal info in order to be a moderator for him. All these millions and millions of TikTok subs. What you failed to tell Easy Ernie is that I recall one TikTok video that had a few million views, but it was because you stole it directly from TikTok. It was a girl dancing drunk. It didn't have anything to do with rescuing children. If there's a link out there for a TikTok for PHN or all these videos where I can see for myself all these millions and millions of subs and views, then I will admit that I was wrong and it's true, but I have to see it for myself. Why? Because Ernie's a liar. But he thinks if he just jokes about it and says, I'm a liar for hire, that it makes it any less troublesome. You're still a liar. Said that it was against the law. Jimbo told Thelma to drive past his sister's house and blah, blah, blah. She can drive on a public road all she wants to. Started talking to a male dispatcher when you're trying to call and get in touch with Lieutenant LeMay. That dispatcher doesn't have a clue who Nicolina is. If you notice, when he answered both of your questions, he said right and nothing more. And then the third question you tried to ask him, he said, I cannot give that information. He already told you 2 times when he said the word right that he wasn't going to tell you anything. But what'd you do? You hung up that phone and you came on here and started telling people it was the Dozier effect of interrogation. Okay. When I listen to that phone call, it's more like that guy put you in check because he didn't answer your information. And then you were going to take a step further. Oh, who all wants to call and check on Rap? Well, that made you look like a dummy, didn't it? Because all you did was call the jail and find out that Rap's been a model citizen, a model prisoner, and he's a trustee and he's in PC. He's doing just great, adjusting well, staying out of trouble. He's able to leave the jail for a little bit and do some little jobs around town. What you were hoping they would say is he was giving them all kinds of trouble and he was constantly going into isolation and had all his privileges taken away and just in so much trouble because of this supposed 3-way phone call that never happened. It doesn't. Truth hurts, but Ernie tried to spin it like when the guy said he was a trustee, that's what the guy was telling him. And then hangs up the phone on that phone call, acting like he really accomplished something. And we're all listening to it, and we're all like, what the hell did he think he just accomplished? I was like, if anything, we should say thank you for calling and checking up on Rap, because those who are worried know that he's doing okay. Then he calls yet another agency and speaks to another person at the central office. And he's yelling at these people like these people are supposed to know what's going on. And it's just nuts. Ernie, you knew. If you have ever worked with law enforcement as closely as you say you have, you knew that no one was going to be around to take those phone calls on a weekend. They're not going to be there. If you really wanted to make a big splash, you would have waited until today and made your dumb phone calls. Then we could have all seen you get put in your place right quick. Except you wouldn't have let that play. You would have muted out for that. What got you so triggered? You're a dying man. But yet Nicolina managed to push just the right button by saying that you were at your sister's house. That got you all kinds of defensive. And this is where we're at. You're still lying. You're still making empty promises. And if you go back to the last live I did, it goes right back to that. Right back to square one. Where how dare you come on here and act like you're doing anything for children, and then you come on here and make this lie up. There are people around here who have lost their lives, people who are fighting for their lives right now. There's someone in my chat right now that has lupus. That's a miserable thing to live with. We had a close family friend that had lupus. It's horrible. There are people going through real life things, and you're over here making a mockery out of it. Why? Because you can't just come out and say, you know what, I'm a shady ass guy. I am a shady guy. And there's a lot of things in life I want to do. I just don't have the gumption or the give a damn to get up and actually do anything about it. You can't say I'm such a loser that I can't even be bothered to show up to court after all of my viewers and my friends paid for my bond money. You're sitting here telling people that you have an incurable disease. People that who might not all be there. Their elevator may be stuck between floors 9 and 10. But they love you. They care about you. For whatever reason, they want good things for you. And you just shit all over them when you do stuff like this. You're not hurting any of us. I mean, yeah, you're being a royal pain in the ass, because when you start doing things like calling law enforcement and creating all these real world problems for people, and don't give me the crap about, you know what they did to Ernie? Ernie did all that shit to Ernie. He holds just as much responsibility as anyone else, because had he not done the things he'd done, nobody would have been calling law enforcement or anything like that on him. The man takes off running in the highway, and like we can visibly see everything that's going on right in front of our faces, but he'll tell us, no, that's not purple, it's green, because he's a liar. And that's why he doesn't like me now. He thinks I betrayed him because I was being all cool with him. I guess he thought I was being fake. No, I was being cool with you because I assured you that if you came on my panel and let me ask you questions, that I would not let anyone disrespect you, and it would be a safe place to have a one-on-one conversation. I told you I was going into it with an open mind. But I went into it with an open mind, and you filled my mind up with the same bullshit that you've always filled it up with. It was a bunch of lies, and every once in a while, a little truth might have been sprinkled in there, but it wasn't the kind of truth that made a difference. And you're still lying. Go turn yourself in. You're dying, Ernie, remember? Don't you want to get this crap? Throw yourself on the mercy of the court and say, you know what? I made a lot of mistakes. I was being stupid. But, Your Honor, now I have found out that I have an incurable disease. We don't know the name of it yet. We're working on that, but it's incurable. And so I see the error of my ways. I was wrong. And I should have come to court the last time. Ask the judge to take pity on you so you can live out your last days, get your jail time or whatever over with, house arrest, and do something positive with what little time you're blessed with. Because people like E Squared, you owe that to them. You owe that to her and the other people who have lost their life just in the past year from within this community. Whether you like them or not, somebody did like them. But it's all a joke to you. So now, Ernie, now that we know that you have an incurable disease and you're terminal, how would you feel if one of us told you, go die in peace now? So you said this disease is going to take 10 to 15 years off your life. But in 2024, ROC is going to thrive. You've lost so much weight, you're down to 121 pounds, wears an extra small, and your neck and your body has skin hanging off of it. That if you lay flat, your neck looks fat because the skin just rolls down onto whatever surface is beneath you. And when you stand up and look up, you look like you have a neck like a swan. That's what you said. But you did say that you have a paper that has your test results on it that says that you don't have any Hep C or HIV or anything like that. So you mean to tell me that while you were still in the hospital, they went and printed your lab report and gave you a physical copy? Because in my experience, any lab work I've ever had done, the results go into the system and that's where they're stored. They don't print out a piece of paper telling me that my flu test was negative. But hey, if they gave you a paper, whatever, it must be because you got that good insurance. And throughout this conversation with Easy, I've always said that Ernie, he can be a funny guy when he wants to be. He's had some good one-liners. But the way you could tell what he was wanting people to focus on during that conversation is when he would say something funny. If someone giggled, he'd be like, oh, yeah, you like that, huh? He wanted to draw attention to that. So you would forget about the fact that he just said he's a hemophiliac and he just can't bleed. Then you ask Easy next time you bust the next predator, if you wanted to do a little more, how you could do it and still have it be on YouTube. Ernie, assaulting someone like in the way you're talking about, that's a crime. And yes, people do put fighting videos on YouTube all the time, but you have to stop and think that more often than not, all those fighting videos usually end up, you see the cops show up and there's an arrest. Yes, he does have that insurance commonly known as Medicaid. So we talked about the sniffer, fancy insurance covered. I'm going to look into that insurance. Let's see. The doctors said that even though they don't know what disease you have based on the surgeries and everything that you just had, you have about a 3-month recovery time. It's going to take you 3 months, the hemophiliac, to recover from the fact that someone just hacked into your skin. And with incisions, it means there's a possibility that they could bust open or something on the inside could start bleeding. So I'm pretty sure that your doctor, the one who gave you his personal phone number and is helping you gain weight, probably wouldn't approve of you going to Hooters to gain that weight and then fight someone. So that's why that doesn't make sense. Let's see. He said that while he was crying on December 4th and saying, why me? Why me? He heard a voice tell him, son, try me. And so all of a sudden, this radiant light shone down upon him, and he just knew that he had to fight the good fight. But Ernie doesn't mean fight the good fight for his life. Instead, what's more important is coming on YouTube and causing real life problems for people, making threats to people, asking people to come join him at Hooters at weighing only 121 pounds. So if that's true, Ernie, if you were crying and you were humbled and you were so scared because you knew your life was over and you heard that still small voice of God telling you, try me, and you didn't, and you come on here and you say, because that voice said, try me, now watch what I do. Ernie, if that's the case, it wasn't God that was talking to you. Because what God means is try Him. Put your faith in Him to heal you. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to pray. Pray for God to ask you to stop, to help you stop lying. He'll do it. Because after all, Ernie, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So if you're humbled and you see how precious life is, the last thing on your mind should be causing problems for someone else. Your time is limited. Nicolina's going to live a lot longer than you because you're a hemophiliac that bleeds from your mouth spontaneously. And you just had 2 major surgeries. Anything could happen. Let's see. Oh my gosh, there's still so much more. Let's see. Oh, and as he was calling, doing his dossier effect of interrogation to these poor dispatchers, he said, what did he say? He said, I used to be the king of this shit. I used to be world good. None of what you say makes sense. So, as I end this, I will go back, you guys, and I will read chat afterwards because I'm about to have to end. But before you come back on here, Ernie, and trying to tell people about themselves, which I know you're probably going to be pretty pissed at me, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there with me. All these things I'm saying and all this stuff I'm disagreeing and calling you on is for your own good. Because you're going to keep doing crap like this and you're going to keep pushing people's buttons and you're going to keep going in all these tailspins running from the law, and it's not going to end well for you. That's just the reality of the situation. You are in the wrong in all of this. Have people done stuff to you? Yeah. No one ruined your life because you were on the exact same path right now that you were on 2 years ago. You run a few feet and then you just stand still and tread water until the next big thing comes up. You're running out of things though, right? The action figures were a flop. The big autograph posters were a flop. The supplements were a flop. It's all been a flop. Nothing's ever come to fruition. And you know what else isn't going to come into fruition? Your death from hemophilia. You don't get a colonoscopy because you have hemophilia. If you were truly this professional guy who was capable of running a successful organization, then you would have the respect and the admiration from people that you wouldn't have to worry about coming on here and say, hey guys, I went to the doctor. I got some unfortunate news. You know, I found out I have something that could potentially cause me to lose my life, but I'm strong. I'm a fighter. You know, I just want to ask you guys to be in support with me and be in prayer with me, and let's hope for the best. That is what upstanding people who actually make a difference in the lives of women and children would handle the situation. The way you're handling it, everything about it looks shady. And you got these poor lonely women out here fighting your battles for you because this is what you do. You stir up all this shit and then you disappear. You're supposedly dying. Yesterday you told Easy that you still couldn't move from one of your surgeries, but you would be all right. And now you're talking about going to New York for your birthday and all that to watch the ball drop for New Year's, just as you've done for the last 3 years. Even said you have an international sponsor. Ernie Shell, the man with barely over 1,000 subs on his YouTube channel, suddenly got an international sponsor wanting to give him nutrition supplements. But he didn't want to take them because being international and all, it could be anything. What does it matter? You already have an incurable disease. Take the damn supplements if they're free. Yes, Sister Callie, the stolen valor. I mean, it's just never ending. And you can tell you're all hopped up on something because the way you were like bombing everyone with community posts every couple of hours. Then he makes this big deal. He's going to be doing a live last night and exposing all this crap about Nicolina, messing with her child. He was on those tiger pills, but he only had enough, like none had been manufactured yet. He only had enough made for him because he was going to do his own FDA testing. He was going to be the guinea pig. So he was taking them, and I guess he ran out. Well, because he got bitten by the snake, he kind of dropped the ball on the supplements. Now, keep in mind, all these people who are entrepreneurs and start all these businesses and create all these products, they're not a one-man show. They have teams that help them. So, God forbid, if the head of the corporation gets sick, there's a team that actually continues working. You have deadlines when you're trying to create a product. You have investors and things like that. There's a process. But that's just not what's going on in this case because it's all crap. So all you little piglets, you can keep coming at me in the comments. I promise that I will always do my best to answer every single one of them. I can't promise you what you're going to get when I answer them, but I'm always going to be honest with you. And if that makes me a know-it-all, Val and me, then you know what? Who cares? I've seen you hop around from place to place to place. Val and me used to like me. She would throw all the little hearts and oh, it's so good to see you. Blah, 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 blah. She's just like the rest of them. She don't care. And I don't lose a wink of sleep over it because I know how y'all operate. That's fine. You don't have to be all about it. And if I see you in a chat or in a comment thread or something and you're snotty with me, you better put your catcher's mitt on because it's coming right back at you, baby. Gypsy, I'm going to get Peanut camera ready. And next time I go live, sweetie pie, I'm not going to tell you when. But I'm going to prove to all you losers just what a catfish I am. Oh my gosh. Y'all are going to take that and say, Chasing said she's a catfish. Yeah, fishy, fishy. So, we are going to be on Earn Watch together. Maybe something exciting will happen. I have a feeling that he sniffed all his sniffer and he hit the downward slope last night and crashed out. And the reason I say that is because I looked at his community post. That's a good way to tell kind of what Earn's doing. Check his community post because he hadn't posted one in 10 hours the last time I checked. So he's either back in the hospital and he's going to die tomorrow, according to the doctors who don't know the name of his disease, or he crashed out. Maybe he got picked up. I doubt it. But you never know. You never know. He's like a jack in the box. You just move it along and then all of a sudden he pops up. But I appreciate all of you for being here and suffering through my raspy, hoarse voice today. It's super duper cold here. It was actually almost, I think it was 76, 77 on Sunday. It was a beautiful day. No, that was Saturday. And then Sunday it got real cold again. So that kind of up, down, it wreaks havoc on me. But for all of those who are actually suffering through some sort of disease or illness and the prognosis could be grim, my heart goes out to all of you. And I apologize on Ernie's behalf for him being such a shit human that would think that it's okay to concoct a story like this. It's insensitive and it's uncalled for. So Lord knows he'll never apologize to anyone. So as a fellow human, I apologize on his behalf. It's tacky. I wouldn't expect anything more from him, though. Ernie, you should be ashamed of yourself. Hundreds of people lose their life every single day. And for you to just be such a bitter piece of crap, like I said, if you were dying, the fact that you choose your final moments to do crap like this instead of rebuilding a relationship as best as possible with your son, you choose to do this crap. And why? So people on YouTube will think you're more than you are. That train left the station. The opinions are formed. You can be nice to someone and blow smoke up someone's ass and win them over temporarily. But anyone who's been around for any length of time knows the real you, and it's just a matter of time before newer people figure it out. Okay, Jimbo. Good luck to Hunter at his game. Yeah, I know. Ernie's no legend. Yes, LARPing as terminal is a new low for him. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And, I'm going to be there for it when Nicolina hands him his ass because I know it's going to be really, really great to watch. Okay. So I'm going to get out of here and go pick Mini-Me up. If I think of other things that I forgot to cover, we'll do part 2. We'll have a eat more dessert stream. And we'll put the cherry on top with everything. So AB is live now. So everyone head over there. Tell AB I sent all of you, and I will be over there in the chat in just a few minutes. All of you hug your loved ones. Ernie, you never know if tomorrow is going to come. Don't take 1 second for granted. Be kind to each other. Tell someone, a complete stranger, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever. Put a smile on their face because this time is not always joyful for some. People have lost loved ones or had tragedies happen. They feel alone. They don't have any family. So just be a better version of you during the holidays than you are at any other time. It goes a long way. Ernie, stop lying to people. Mama T, pay that money back. Lori Tiger, I was right. You were wrong. My dog is going nuts. So I will see all of you next time. Gypsy, I'm going to cam up, bitch.